Lord gracious Father in heaven, we come to you this hour tonight, Lord, asking you to lead us in all our decisions. Let us realize we can do that. Bless this board, bless the people just here, Lord. Give us the understanding, Lord, that we're going to do what you say is right and do right for the people. In blessed name, we pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Melinda Ballard. Here. Baron Glass.
Here.
Maria Bass. Here. Gary Castles.
Here.
James King.
Here.
All right, item A is the executive committee report.
Went through all the checks, everything seems in order. Again, sales taxes are up again this month, for 19% over last year, which is a good thing. And hopefully that'll keep going for us. And everything is good so far.
All right, thank you, Randy. Item B is approved March 10th, 2022 board meeting minutes.
I so move.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Item C is recognize Janae Clark as Employee of the Month. Mr. Scott Walker, is she here?
Yes.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to be back with you guys. Thank you for having me, especially for the opportunity to recognize Janae Clark as the Employee of the Month. Normally when we recognize someone, they're nominated by one person. In this case, they're nominated by several different people. And so I wanted to read a couple of things that was said about Ms. Clark before we give her award. One teacher says, Janae has worked incredibly hard to improve students' reading scores across the school. She is outstanding at organizing work for parents and guiding them while mentoring several different teachers. Another coworker says Ms. Clark goes above and beyond to help the students learn, and she cares for the students. And then finally, one teacher says, she is amazing. She has helped me tremendously with my students and their overall growth this year. We have been the perfect team for my sweet kids. So it's clear that Janae Clark does wonderful work in the district, and at Taylor & Sons, we're happy to recognize her as the April 2022 Employee of the Month.
Nika, that's my classmate. She was always shy in school. Wouldn't talk a whole lot, but was always smart. Janae, congratulations.
Not as quiet as
good to see you.
Kids have a way of bringing you out of your shell.
She's better than you.
I have to help.
Thank you, Scott. I asked her if she wanted to say anything, and she
She wouldn't talk at all.
y'all, she is in the role of her life right now. She is doing the reading intervention at Grayson. She's at Grayson. She's a reading interventionist, so she works with a lot of different students and a lot of different teachers. She does a great job.
All right.
Very deserving.
Item D is approved redistricting plan number 5, hopefully. I guess you up.
Okay. Here, be happy to answer any questions. The police jury adopted Plan 5 yesterday morning. No comments were made at the public hearing there, so.
If it's the one that me, Gary, and Randall met on, then I'll make a motion that we approve the.
There's no changes
Is
from
that the
that
same
side.
one we looked at the last meeting?
Yeah, that's it.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Thank you, Doug.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We still have some work to do before the submission. We're going to get the paperwork from the resolution. Still waiting on the ordinance from the police jury. It'll be 2 separate packets. It will be submitted to the Secretary of State, Register of Voters here, and the clerk of court here in our parish. Also, a copy will be submitted to the Justice Department, just to be on file.
We're looking at what, about a 90-day window?
I don't think it's gonna take that long. Now, the Justice Department does not review them anymore, but making contact with them, they still would like copies of all the plans that we do, and we will provide that. And we'll also send a copy electronically to you guys, so y'all will have a copy of everything that's submitted.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much for your
Appreciate
help.
you.
Thank you.
All right, item E is a possible executive session to discuss personnel matter pursuant to Louisiana RS 4217A.
I make a motion we go into executive session to discuss the above.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Good? Everybody in? Is that everybody?
Yeah, Mike, are we good?
We're good.
We're good, okay.
All right, item F is consider renewal of superintendent's contract.
I make a motion to renew the superintendent's employment contract to December 31st, 24, with a 9.25 raise in base pay.
You have a second?
I second that motion.
Which is consistent with the previous 5 superintendents in the past 29, 30 years.
We need a roll call for that.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Mr. Randy Rents.
Yes.
Ms. McKee.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Mr. Glass.
Yes.
Ms. Bass.
Yes.
Mr. Castle.
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
Item G is resolution to update safety deposit box access at Caldwell Bank and Trust.
Okay, Melinda called me and said we had some really ancient information on this. Currently, we have Carla Tollett and Lauren Young as being authorized to visit the safety deposit box. They don't have a key, but they are authorized. Obviously, we're proposing to change that to Nikki and myself. And I got to find the key, which is probably in the office.
Well, if you don't find the key, it'll cost you $250.
I'll find
He's
it.
gonna find it.
I'll find it.
It costs them
So what do we
millions.
need to do? Do we need to make a resolution?
Make a motion.
I so moved.
You second, Maria seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, this is a long one.
Like it is.
Read it just like it is, okay? Notice is hereby given that at its meeting to be held on Thursday, May 5th, 2022 at 6 p.m. at its regular meeting place, the school board office, 7112 Highway 165, Columbia, Louisiana. The parish school board of the parish of Caldwell, state of Louisiana, plans to consider adopting a resolution ordering and calling an election to be held in Consolidated School District Number 1 of Caldwell Parish, Louisiana, to authorize the renewal of an ad valorem tax therein.
Well done.
Well done.
You have item H on here, and all that is trying to say is we're renewing, or proposing to renew the maintenance tax, which is item 2, and it would be renewed at the same 7.41% mills. And I thought we had to do this next year. I was off a year. We can do it a year early. The way I was doing it was at the right time, assuming that it passed. The bond attorney called us and said, by the way, if y'all want to do this, right now it's time to do it. So I amended all my stuff. Y'all had this last month, but anyway, it's been
It's strictly renewal.
strictly
Yeah.
renewal. Same rate.
Is
no
this
change.
in our election?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Good, 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 good.
And we have to do the board notice today, which is what Gary has done. Then next month, on May 5th, board resolution that puts it into play. And then it goes to Secretary of State office, which they approve it in June. And then it gets on the November election.
So no action.
No
You
action.
just notice.
Right.
All right, so that's all we need to do there.
You have been notified.
Yep.
All right.
And we're going to be keeping tally when we get to
Item I is David again, financial update.
All right, financial update, we're kind of plugging along pretty much like where we were last month. General fund is a little bit ahead of last year at this time. 912,000 versus 867,000, not a whole lot to get excited about. You know, we're in the same boat as we were last month, talking about where we're going to end up at the end of the year. I mean, obviously, I'm still concerned on that. I think we'll end up in the red, but it depends on how some of our ESSER money comes in, because we get indirect costs on that. That might put us in the black, so we're kind of on that stage. Sales taxes, y'all already talked about that, we're running pretty good. Lunch fund is about 70,000 ahead of last year, so it's doing real well. Maintenance fund is a little bit shy of last year, but nothing of concern. And that's it on financial update.
The Scott stuff is still, I guess, we just waiting.
Still swinging the wind.
Really?
Yep.
But no appeal has been filed, right?
No, it's been appealed.
Yeah, I'm
it's
saying,
appealed.
yeah, I'm saying, but I'm talking about since that time, the appeals.
The appeal is still active. from the last time that we talked. So that's for
That's just a
fiscal year
prolonged check.
20, that's for fiscal year 20 and 21 that they're still appealing.
Now,
They lost fiscal year 19.
Is interest added on to all that? Seems like it should be.
We give a microscopic amount of interest. So not
So I mean, they
enough
just
to-
prolong it, they know they're not to pay it.
It's already, it's at the sheriff's office. I mean, the sheriff's office collects it. That stops the interest on the company. We accrue interest at the sheriff's office checking account.
Not using it.
bank rate, which isn't that much.
They're not using it on.
I have no idea. They could be. I hope the pot of money is still there. But as far as I know, it's available.
Well,
2019 is their 20 and 21, their fights.
Right. And there's no change in why they would win or lose. I mean, they should still lose. So.
but they had to go ahead and pay it, so they're not holding on to it, but they're just fighting to try to get it back.
Right.
But
That
they
stops
lost the last
damage.
battle, so, yeah.
Scott Meredith was surprised that they filed an appeal on 1920 after the work.
I think we'll get tired of it after a while, yes.
You would think. So, I don't know.
All right, thank you, Dave. Item J is district leaders update.
Monica? You can say it, or everybody was busy today.
Everything's going well. We're not enrolling anymore with our three-year-old program for the rest of this year, because it would just be kids starting for next year. So the official registration for next year is going to kick off the week of April 19th. We're going to have the online thing and then go out and do some public things. And then the week after school is out, do the screening and testing to get them ready to start. So everything's going real well. I'm excited about getting it going.
Monica, are your numbers where you think they should be, less, more, are you comfortable with what it is? If not,
There's more 3-year-olds out there
really?
because, you know, the number of 4-year-olds that'll come in is always higher. With us having that new class next year when we're doing enrollment, we can push, because when we take in we get that 10% of over income, we also know we've got that 17 slots that can also be in that over income area. So that's gonna help us, I think.
Because I'm assuming the sooner they get in at 3,
Oh, yes.
the better. Is there any type of, I don't want to say push, a campaign, but, because I don't know if everybody,
Well, that's
you
what
know,
we hope to do when we do that outreach,
Really?
going out around the ballparks and things and putting out some flyers and stuff, which we send them home with kids every year.
because I think it's a benefit if they are in school
definitely.
at 3.
And something that we're using some of our Ready Start Money, a program we're gonna be using for the upcoming year, it's Lena. It's Lena Grow. It's a lot of the parish systems have used it, but the 3-year-olds especially, and some of the 4-year-olds, it's a vest they wear. One of the things with that class assessment that we have to do is interactions. You can have a teacher, if they're teaching her tail off, but if those kids, if she's not interacting with them, her score is not gonna be good.
Really?
So that's part of where the difference in class versus just a typical teacher observation. So these devices the children would wear, it would measure every time I talk to you, it picks up, and every time you speak, it picks up. And so it'll have those kids ranked. So when you've got this child over here that goes on to pre-K, or then on to kindergarten, it's like, where do we fall on this one? Because they're quiet, they fall below that, they don't bother anybody. And then they get to kindergarten, it's like, oh gosh, this kid is not on level. Well, he never bothered anybody, so he just, you know, is that status quo. And this is going to allow us to identify that and to let teachers see, hey, I've got to reach these kids and pull them in this world.
Right. Because that's what we're talking about in that district leadership meeting, of, you know, identifying those kids. And I think on those charts that they had, their target that they were trying to reach, they were way past that. So that particular group of people,
I'm just glad we don't have to wear them.
they did a good job. Yeah, I mean, they made some good numbers. And the way they're able to identify, because they start out at red, green, and yellow, something like that, and you can see the kid when they started here versus where they were at 2 weeks ago. I think it was only 2 kids that wasn't in green. That's 2 out of all of them. You can't beat that. So they're doing a,
They are.
And-
And it
and
just
it
sounds
goes back to
very
the team,
intentional, and that's kind of what we've, our, Maria and Kim took a group of teachers to Mansfield Elementary yesterday. I think there was about 16 that went, and they got to observe at this Models of Excellence school. And their word is intentional. They're looking at their kids and making sure that what we're doing is right for that kid. And it sounds just like the vest. It's
Right.
making sure that we don't have kids fall through the gaps because they were quiet and they blended in. Now I know I've got to make this kid talk.
right.
And
And
that's
it also
what
like, Ms. McKee could come in and see exactly where her child started at versus where they're at now, and you can question, well, why is my kid not here? Which allows the parent to be engaged with the classroom. So it's very detailed. I mean, it's very detailed, but those people are doing
they are.
a hell of a fine job. I mean,
You just see it and then you'll know
Yeah.
that this is what's going on.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you, Monica. All right, Sandra?
Everything's going fine, just trying to stay staffed, and right now we are, so that's a good thing,
how
but,
about your subs, son?
we're struggling there.
Really?
Yeah,
Is
we
it-
are. I'm having to move people like today, for instance, or for the whole week, I have one from one school going to another school, because they're just hard. They're
Is
just
there
gonna
any
happen.
particular reason why, or just the way it is?
I don't know, we've advertised and,
We put it in the newspaper.
Yeah, I've seen
and
it
then
advertised.
Facebook.
yeah.
And you just don't get people to fill out the application? or
No.
what?
We had one come through today, so I was happy about that, but that's the only one.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
You think changing the name of it, maybe to like a, I don't know, a cooking tech or something? Because I know some people get caught up on, titles.
Mhm.
Janitors, Melinda and I were just talking, I think they have some technician type name now. Because people are image driven,
Yeah.
they may not want to do it just because, of the name. So I'm just asking to.
Well, they're labeled cafeteria technicians.
Really?
I have technicians and I have managers. And so for subbing, that's the position that they would be subbing in, is cafeteria technician.
Ms. Flo had board members come in and sub, year
Oh,
Hey,
I
hey,
can. I'll take it.
Are you making cinnamon rolls?
Hey, that's a morning.
We do need them.
I tell you what, it improved the morale of the people in the cafeteria. I used to, I'm not making an excuse, but when I visited the school, first place I went to the cafeteria.
Cafeteria?
I knew, man, look, in high school, my God, man, they work big rump off.
I miss school meals. I was at Central, I had every day, breakfast and lunch.
Yeah. Lots of hard workers.
So what about their equipment, their stoves and stuff like that? All that's up and running and fixed?
Yes. As of today, we have one that we've been kind of having to work around, but I got a text a while ago. It's going. So, yeah, we're going.
Mike, got anything?
Not any change in technology, we're just focusing on testing, making sure all the sites are up and running and have enough equipment.
It's almost here. We have 7 weeks left of school. Hard to believe.
Well, that's what the Spanish children told me. We've enjoyed them, I hate to see them go.
Anybody else? All right, item K is the superintendent's report.
All right, so I just have, since our last meeting, the other capital improvements that have taken place. The fence has gone up at the pre-K,
Yes.
right?
The gates will go in, I think, Friday.
So that's positive. Union Central's parking lot has been paved as of yesterday at noon. Y'all, it is gorgeous.
I'm gonna go see.
It's so nice.
So somebody called me and asked me what was going on, I forgot what it was, until
Yeah,
they said there's a
yeah.
park lot being paved.
They moved fast, so we were super excited. They came in after the rain on Wednesday and had it
That's
done
been
by
a
tomorrow.
couple of years since that.
Amethyst is his.
I mean, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Did they do the down at the high school?
They will, but they did Central first.
Okay.
And so they were trying to do a smaller area first. The high school has so much traffic even during spring break because your baseball team, your softball
That is
team,
amazing.
and it's constant, so.
And once you hire him, he's gonna go back and do jobs for you all the time.
Well, that's
He
all
does
right.
it at
He
the
put
store.
it
He's
in.
been doing several times.
He is. I mentioned the literacy field trip they took yesterday. I know they'll have more to report on that at the May meeting. And then I think Kaylee gave you a list of dates in your packet. We have to move the May board meeting, which is typical because that week is graduation week and there's so many activities. So so yes, the board meeting will be May the 5th, but here is the important dates, just so you know when. Baccalaureate, the Jump Start Banquet, the Retirement Recognition Banquet, Scholars Banquet, and graduation week, so.
Nick, everything is pretty much back to normal as far as classrooms,
Yeah, yeah.
COVID numbers and all that?
Oh, well, have y'all seen the pavilion at the junior high?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It holds water in the middle.
Oh, really?
Of course.
Is that one of the new projects?
I hadn't noticed that. I didn't know that.
I sent the project manager down to look at it, but he didn't go.
You know the reason why? Because that's what happened with all the other stuff, you know?
No, I don't know why, but it holds water. The lady who gave me the tour told me.
Okay,
That's how I know.
yeah. We'll have to push that out, so. Oh, Special Olympics is on April the 13th, yes. 9:30, yeah. So, y'all can, it'll be at the, high school stadium and, you'll all have shirts. That's a fun day.
I saw them at the front desk, for y'all, the shirts.
You text them to me?
Yeah. Janice Martinez is gonna get them for you guys.
So we about to have all our $1 million projects finished.
Tennis courts is the hang up, and,
What they do at Grayson? What they do at Grayson?
We got,
You're putting between
Let's
the
see.
building.
playground equipment at Grayson.
Did they get there?
oh, that is, yeah, it's all supposed to be here the week after, Easter. So the playground equipment should start coming. Ralph actually came around today with some, Google Earth diagrams so that he knows where to tell them to put that, so,
The installation's supposed to be this month.
yes,
What about Columbia Elementary?
Same thing.
they wanted the playground equipment.
I can just see those little kids sitting at the window watching that stuff.
Yeah.
Mr. Ford,
Yeah.
does the website tell you how many people visit the, visit that's active?
I'm not sure if the website does.
Because I know some of them will tell you, how many
Right.
visitors and stuff you have, because I'm just wondering why some of the stuff that's going on, people just don't know about it. And if we're pushing that campaign to, market the stuff, if we put it there, then we can kind of follow the traffic that's going, because I had one of the attorneys yesterday to mention, why can't the school, put this, and I said, we try as much as we can, which I probably lied to them, because I've been preaching. So I guess I'm just, is it a way that we can, I guess, do better to?
If there's not a calendar on there, I'll see what we can do with our
kind of
company,
view it.
Adriel, and get us.
It ain't
get us
nothing
a
special,
calendar
if
on
you
there.
can't, don't worry about
But
it.
it should be something that should be provided.
Because, everybody got a phone, they got, so it's not like they can't just go on the phone and check on what's going on, like these projects that we got. We got photos and stuff, put there, these are the latest.
We're collecting those
Yeah.
photos
Okay.
so that we can put together something to put out on our
Right.
Facebook, and then every time we put it on our Facebook, we try to update our website as well. We can push out, America's got it where you can push out even through the text, the J Campus text, that goes out, so it would send out the text message or the email, and you can just click the link to look at.
You got the
So-
school info out too, that you can put all that stuff on, which is wonderful.
Right.
I went to the summer school. What's the last day of school? May,
Officially, the 24th, if we don't have to use any more weather days, we may make it the week before.
so
And
when does our fun camp start?
It's June, hang on. We take a week, there's a week off in between,
Uh-huh.
and then it is June the 6th through the 30th, because it's Monday through Thursday.
Okay. Is it full?
I don't think so. I mean, I think there's lots of applications, Kim can attest to that, but I'm not sure how many are in each one, so I think it's still open.
We're gonna run the buses?
Yes. Yes. And then the sports camps, Ralph is taking care of organizing those in the afternoons, just like we did last summer too. It's almost here.
And Nick, when a parent don't send a kid to school, they're only hurting the child. Especially if the child is, failed twice, but the kid is at home babysitting. It's just not fair to the kid, and I think those who advocate for kids should really, I don't know what everybody's situation is at home, so I can't speak to that, but every day that they miss, it's just not good, because, I mean, we've been meeting for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm talking 60 some days, 40, you know, that's just like numerous people. And it's just not good, and the school does everything it can, the resource officer does everything that they can,
Home visits.
the attendant director,
yeah.
and it's just, I don't know where we can get, you know, the help that we need, but it's too many kids missing school, and that's costing, you know, the population to be not what we want it to be. It's just not good.
We can't teach them if they're not there.
You know, we talked about the numbers being down as far as the number of kids. How is that, I'm not finance-wise how it affects us, we know how it affects us financial-wise. But how does that affect us as far as teachers in the classroom and things like that, as far as numbers?
We're pretty consistent. Sometimes we'll have to put a third classroom in at different schools because a certain grade level will have too many kids, but for the most part, our class sizes are still very consistent. You know, anywhere between 15 to 22, which is a very healthy number. And that's something we've always prided ourselves, is that we don't have large class sizes for the most part.
Excuse me. I know I'm going to say to you. 6th graders on junior high campus.
I had 2 of them.
I just can't see that. 7.
There is a world of difference. We talked about this at the track meeting yesterday. Kaylee and I talked about it because we both have 6th graders at the junior high. There's such a difference in 6th and 8th.
Right, and then I remember you had 7th grade boys and girls, 6'1", 7th grade girl looked like a grown woman. Then here you got this 8-year-old, 9-year-old 6th grader dragging his backpack. And the thing that like I say, you grow up in 7th and 8th grade. And if you're 6th grader, you don't ever grow up. So when you get to 9th grade, see, pubescent is rough. To me, that's the most complicated grade system in school. You got a young man that thinks he's grown today, and tomorrow he's crying because he didn't get his milk. And I've seen a person, girl, I asked the principal, are you sure those 13-year-old girls? And then here you got this 10-year-old boy like my great-grandson think he was a lover already. It ain't gonna work. But they do. I don't know how this.
Junior high does a really good job of keeping them. There's a 6th grade hall.
Okay.
And then the 7th and 8th graders are, for the most part, they are pretty separated. But there is a world of difference. But I'm telling you, my boys
You
love
bring up a
junior
good
high.
point, and that's one of the reasons nobody in this school system is paid enough, from the bottom to the top. And just because of that, a teacher is not only a teacher now, he's a psychologist, he's a physical therapist. They're everything else. They're a babysitter. They're expected to do everything for everybody, and they do a fantastic job of what they
Not
do.
because he's
And
here.
they are not paid enough.
I go to Grayson, Kelly preschool. Let me tell you, those ladies that teach there, and you just have to go and see those kids respond. God.
They're
No,
amazing.
no, the mighty well. My God, you talking about it? If you have some problems, emotional problems, go around these kids.
Yeah.
When
That make
these
you feel
kids
good.
come up and tell you, say, I want you to be my papa. And they're serious. They're not, I just see too many lonely kids. But most of them just happy as they can be dancing. They just better get me to dance, now I can barely walk. But Randy said something, Brother Glenn, all of them. These teachers, man, they work beyond what they're required to. If you don't know how to take my word for it, I'm thinking about
No, I was just about to say, no, a thought just came to mind. I just come from my Supreme Court training, and I forgot to mention that marijuana use is higher now in elementary age kids versus when they used to be. So, but the issue is that they're lacing the marijuana with fentanyl and opioids. And the camera, and I give you a personal observation of one that just happened most recently. in the last couple of days. So it's here. I don't know what the teachers can do. Like Brenda said, they're everything. They can't do this, they can't do that. But so when that behavior exists, it may not be just some problems at home. It could be some other things that's triggering that. Because when they're at the bus stop in the morning time, it's a lot of things that go on that people don't know about. So you just got to be careful. So you know, I don't know what to tell them to do.
Well, awareness
but
is
just be
part of
aware,
it, just know, yeah, that it's a possibility.
I was told by some teens, one of the things that they're doing, they're carrying crack and especially backpacks. See, we older people, these kids got a way of getting around us.
Well, so I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Me too.
All right.